Wow. So, it's been like a decent hot minute since I left winter, right? Well, I'm back. No, the break took a little bit longer than I expected, but sorry for the longer break than I expected. Got some projects in the back burner that I'm working on slowly. For now, this is something that I need to address way earlier. It was around 2 or 3 months ago that the Pump It Up new mix development was confirmed. I made a YouTube short, and I'm going to be talking about more of my thoughts about it and a lot of community feedback which you guys wanted from it, so let's go in. I think as a community, you guys for the main 2 factors for the new mix, new songs and general suggestions for the game. So let's go into them. Wanting older songs back, international song licenses, not exclusively K-pop or J-pop. I think that's a really good idea considering Pump's Latin America community is very big, and I feel like they could definitely have more songs to cater for that demographic. Pump Maramu. I'm not sure if this could happen because I don't even know if the current game engine of Pump It Up XX can even run Pump Maro. Infinity is such a unique version that maybe it had the support and capabilities of it, so I'm not sure if XX or the newer versions can even provide that with the MK9, but correct me if I'm wrong. I want, I actually don't know that artist's songs to come back and newer Spanish songs. Again, with the topic of more international songs, I think that'd be really cool. People wanting Don't Bother Me back, it's classic. I also wanted Don't Bother Me back. It's probably the most popular freestyle at the time, and it's still arguably really is one of the most popular Pump videos of all time. Songs more from Infinity and Pro. That is true, surprisingly. I think a good amount of Infinity and Pro songs did get cut out, probably because of licenses and stuff like that. It would be interesting to see more or less more of them. Loner, I feel like the songs provide such a cool intensity and kind of Korean rap god, just spitting going fast. The charts are also really cool too, fun. Yeah, I would definitely want Loner back. Loner would be sick. So something you have to keep in mind with these song requests is that Andamira has to pay these music artists and be like, yo, can we have your song in our game? But that costs money. And I would say for more demanding songs like Boombaya and maybe Loner, since they're K-pop, the licenses can cost a lot. So for Andamiro, they have to make the conscious decision where it's do the player base really want this song? Is it nowadays, do people listen to this? Is it going to cost us that much, etc.? I think only from this list, Across the Ocean's most possible. I don't know how popular of a song that was. I don't remember it personally, but it's not a K-pop song. For the most part, the licenses would be a lot cheaper. Also asking for Chrono Circle songs, but also particular ones like While Shining, Breaking Dawn. I actually don't know these songs. It would be cool to just generally see more songs that you don't typically see in Pump. And now we're going to go to our second category, being general game suggestions, interface, settings, etc. Rush, hard features, rival system. So I think Rush is really smart in, I feel a home game setting sense. You have Osu, so you have the Osu practicer. Eterna, you have the point speed modifiers to adjust how the rate of the song goes. But you don't typically see Rush or the idea of adjusting the song of the speed for typical arcade rhythm games. I don't see it. I don't see that with Sound Vortex. I don't see that with Groove Coaster. I don't see that with Dance Rush, etc. So I think in that case, Pump was kind of the odd one where it had Rush, but I guess it didn't really work out well. I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's nicer to have it. Good inclusion because you might want to, just mess around with mods and stuff. But I've also heard the concern that it could make, for example, full songs, if you played at the slowest speed at 60, it would be really long. Imagine Gargoyle Rush 60. Instead of having the low category be so low, 60, 70, 80, 90, they can just make it 80 and 90. So no 60 and 70, so then that way credits can't be that long in comparison. I also heavily agree with the rival system of Prime 2. There was the global leaderboard, there was your countries and machines bests, and then the rival system. So the GUI was a little bit cluttered, but since in XX, mostly every leaderboard has gotten completely removed now because I know for the global leaderboards there were some cheaters, but I don't see why they had to remove the rival system, because I think the rival system is something so essential to any rhythm game or competitive game for that matter. You have rivals, you have inspirations, you have friends. You want to try beat each other's scores or compare, so then that way you can see yourself grow as a player, maybe have some fun rivalries. I think competitiveness, mostly any game, especially like rhythm games like this, is mostly net positive. I think they should definitely add the rival system back. This person asked for BGA off. This is kind of a hot take for me. I hope they don't add BGA off back, because I think what makes Pump so special is that every song has its own animated background. Except for remixes and full songs, but most of the time, sometimes, but you wouldn't find Pump nearly as exciting if there was no background. I'm just gonna say it. I still play Osu time to time, and have played it for a very long time, and after coming back from Pump to Osu, where I'm just have like 100% dim, I'm just hitting circles. When you play Pump with a background, it actually adds story and flavor, and just makes it more meaningful. You feel more connected to the song. I hope they don't add BJ off ever again, to be honest. I hope they add percent score. This is actually probably one of my favorite comments. I think Pump It Up tournaments are definitely a little bit, like the Pump It Up scoring is not the best. It's really not. It's very confusing. There's like score bonuses, like for example, every note after 50 is 1,000. If you miss on a hold, it's like minus 3,000. Just very, almost like random numbers at times, where even people who like organize tournaments and like knowledgeable players sometimes can't even calculate scores because of how confusing and technical the scoring system for Pump It Up can be. And this is kind of important when talking about tournaments, because I feel like this is very smart with the percent scoring, because in a sense it is kind of similar to like EX scoring for a DDR. Editor update. No, it isn't. EX scoring is still different from percentage. Percent scores use a formula. EX scoring uses points, but it would be much better than combo-based bonus scoring. Yeah, I think it would be a very smart way for tournaments to be not so combo-based, but rather like, is your score actually good or not? Because again, like the current Pump scoring is like, it's just flawed a lot. Now, they said maybe only enable it with HJ to make the tournaments more friendly, but I actually have a suggestion to that, being maybe the percent score can just be a default thing in the after you finish a song. Because let's think about it. When you play Pump, for example, and you like watch charts on YouTube and see how people do, most of the time it's a stage pass or break on A's, or like FCs, like S, SSS, SSS, triple S. And since A's are so freaking wide, you could have like one miss, everything else perfect, be an A, and like completely like mashing all goods and still get like an A. And I think for like Osu, for example, it has like 99.5% blank amount of PP. And in this case, for Pump It Up, you would remove the PP, put the rank, and then just put the percentage. I think that way it could show more significance of how good your score is, rather than just this random A break on, because A break on can be so subjective. It could be like a really good pass, it can be a really shit pass. And I think, but I really think this percent scoring is very smart. It's not like the main score, but like it's like a side score, and that can also be used for tourneys too. UI and UX, same as Chrono Circle. Very interesting. They'd like the new Pump Mix UI to be similar to Chrono Circle. I haven't spent enough Chrono Circle nearly to I feel like give my 2 cents about this. I've only played it twice at round 1, but I don't know how I feel about that. I more leaning towards I wish not really, because Pump has its own identity. Chrono Circle is its own game. So some things that work well with Chrono Circle's graphics might not work well with Pump's, because you have to keep in mind Pump's display window is like a big flat monitor, while Chrono Circle's is like circle vertical screen. So it's a little different. But I see where they're going with this. I think that's a cool take on it, but for me, I'd rather just see Pump have its own, identity, rather than just recycle the same resources you already had. So, And yeah, that's pretty much it. That wraps up my thoughts and your guys' thoughts. If there's anything else you guys want to say, feel free to leave them in the comments. Make sure to join the Pump community via Pump United and subscribe for more Pump content. I got a lot of stuff in the back works. Gotta time manage better, and hopefully they'll be coming out in the future.